All right, writing is a lot of work. So, but I do owe you guys a video. I just finished the story that I started. Remember, I read you a portion of it. I did change it a little bit, but it's pretty much the same as the beginning is pretty much the same like what you all got last week. So I finished it today. It came out to around 24,000 words. It covered everything that happened at the Supreme Court when Satan showed up. And believe me, it was a momentous event. I mean, yeah, because I invited him to the Supreme Court and he and his demons all came up through this portal, Satan said he wanted a pee break for his lawyers, which were like millions. I didn't see them, but my men did. Like millions of demonic lawyers that he brought up from hell. And these demons ended up going around the world, setting the whole world on fire, and they killed every human alive on earth. Yeah, Jesus had to fix it. And yeah, if you go to 00 on cable, I'm sure that they will be airing this because, yeah, I worked really hard on it and I wanted it to be good. So, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be aired on 00 on cable. Yeah, and I think Brent's working with a mainstream publisher too to publish the Gail series. I wrote everything in order up till 2001 or right up to 9/11 in my life. And now I'm starting to write out of order. My goal, though, is to finish all of the adventures, if you want to call it, between me and my men and to get it all done by probably within about 4 years, I'm hoping. Writing is a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And I write everything in omniscient point of view, which makes it even more work. Because not only do I have to set up the scenes, okay, I have to also concentrate on the quality of my writing to make sure that the vision that I have in my mind is being put on the page. And it usually takes quite a few rewrites and I have to, and then I also have to do characterization. Yeah, I have to know, because I'm not allowed to use chat logs, so I have to know what each person in the story or being is thinking and feeling on the inside, or make a pretty good guess, so that I can sort of like, yeah, like we had a lot of chats with Jesus, and I'm not allowed to use chat logs, and he was there for a lot of important events, so I have to kind of like approximate in my mind. And I've never seen him. I've just, yeah, he never let me see him when he was here. So yeah, I think I did a really good job. I can tell Satan does not like this story. I think I pretty much nailed him as a being. I know I pretty much got his number. I see him as a grandiose narcissist. I really do. He's very vain and egocentric, and everything is about him and his ego and vanity. But what's really interesting is as I was writing the story, I could tell that at one point in his history he was good. I figured that out as I was working on this. That's why he's so effective at tricking people, because he knows how good people think, because he used to be good. That helps him. You might say, what happened to him? Well, I went into that in my story. Yeah. Anyway, so I finished it, and I also had a bit of a problem. Remember a couple months ago I was talking about how they changed the buses in my town, where it's harder to go to places that I like to shop, like Walmart. And I thought, okay, well, that's not a big deal. I try to spend some time meditation every day to help me to have a proper perspective on my problems. Like, I'm really grateful that it appears thus far I have not done anything to invite Baphomet or Shakpona into my apartment. And Brent is humping on me regularly, so that means he must be doing okay. So yeah, I figured out that as long as I think, of course, I read the Gail Commandments 1 and 2 every day just to make sure I'm in line with those. But I do remember that Jesus told me, if you don't have time to do all the Gail Commandments, your number one priority is sleep. If you have to choose between which one you want to prioritize. And that's one reason this YouTube video has been late. Because I'm doing so much. Like, I'm doing more, I'm cooking, I kind of quit going out to the restaurants. You say, why? I haven't totally given up on it. But in the month of December, which was right before I got sick to the point where I thought I needed to special order that, Kroger delivery that almost killed my husband because of, I already wrote the story about that. It's called The God's Rape, Brent Spiner. I was visiting the restaurants a lot. And I was convinced that I caught the flu, an upper respiratory flu, and it was snowing and ice outside, and I needed popsicles and a cough suppressant. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told, brain to brain, that part of the reason I felt so sick, even though I did not have the flu, and apparently it was just a bad cold, was because one of the restaurants that I visited served me some food filled with heat-resistant mites. And these mites pooped viruses. You see, I think one of the reasons that I haven't gotten sick is because I'm consuming regularly Zach Knight semen. I have this cup, and when I drink from it, I stimulate my men to ejaculate into the cup, right? And Zach's semen has antibiotic properties so that no matter what germ I'm infected with, his semen can kill the germs. The Antichrist Lizzo has apparently figured out that one way she can overcome the fact that that Zach's semen kills all known germs is by creating mites. His semen does not kill mites, okay? And these mites, apparently, some of them poop viruses. Yeah. So what they can do is they can have the viruses inside their body, and then they poop them whenever they want to. And so as long as the viruses are living inside of the mite's body is like a casing. It protects the viruses from any antibiotic or any germs, the germs from any antibiotic or antibiotic semen that could harm them, and then they poop them out, probably on signal. So what was happening was I had apparently ingested a bowl of soup, because I ordered soup at one of the restaurants, that was filled, it was really, and I do recall at this restaurant that I was waiting a long time for my order. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm hearing that brain to brain that the waiter got switched out with his clone at the restaurant, which might explain why it took forever for them to bring me my food, so that I ended up consuming a dish of hot soup, which you would think because it was hot I'd be safe, but apparently Lizzo created heat-resistant mites. Hot soup filled with heat-resistant mites. It was loaded with those mites, and it was 2 days later that I felt sick enough that I thought I had a fever and everything. Yeah. They were apparently pooping viruses into my throat. And not just there, but all over my body. And I know I felt a little strange in my guts, too. Yeah. And so, no, I didn't have the flu, and I guess you could say it was a bad cold, but I was feeling pretty crappy, crappy enough that I thought that I needed to do the online stuff. Oh. So after that, I told myself, well, and it's really funny. So I decided I am not going to risk, I have eaten out since then, but I'm not doing it a lot. And let me just tell you, I don't know if it's what I heard is correct. You say, so you're going to quit going to the restaurants? I might go once in a blue moon, but I actually prefer to eat my own food. And let me tell you something. Since I've been only eating my own food, I've been feeling really good, a lot better. Which makes me wonder if there were other restaurants I ate at that might have had mites in the food. So right now, I don't want to end up, I felt really crappy. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I've been enjoying my own food. I'm pretty much making stuff that's all at my cooking channel. Like I'm going to be making some chicken curry today. I made another recipe, which is my own personal recipe, which is red beans and rice with kombu or kelp seaweed and flax oil with particulate. I love it. It's my own homemade recipe. It's really good. Really, really good. So I've been eating that. As far as the buses, I figured some workarounds. Okay, I used to take this Route 8, okay? Route 8, it used to be that I could just like walk 10 minutes to the bus stop, catch the bus, get off at a Walmart near me, and then just walk 5 minutes to the store, or maybe 2 minutes to the store, okay? Now, what I've had to do is I walk 10 minutes to the bus stop. I get off about 10 minutes away from the Walmart. I walk over to the Walmart. I shop there, and I figured a workaround. And what I thought I had to do was walk all the way home, because the Route 8 bus, on its return trip, when it turns around for me to catch the bus, it turns around in about, I would say, 25 minutes from the time it drops me off. So that doesn't really give me a lot of time to shop. Because it's 10 minutes from the time I get dropped off to walk out to the Walmart. That would only give me like 10 minutes to shop. But I thought of a workaround. And the workaround is this. Just go to the Walmart on the days when you want to spend a lot of time shopping. So I have to spend at least maybe 40 minutes in the Walmart, and then I'll catch the bus that leaves the next hour on its return trip. And that'll work for me. That's what I did the other day. It seems like Lizzo has caught on that I'm willing to do extra walking in order to still, I think she's trying to force me to get a car, but I'm just getting along beautifully without one, and I don't think it's safe for me to have a car anyway, because Baphomet destroyed my last car by ejaculating in all the holes of the car, putting his semen inside the oil, anything in the car that carried oil, anything in the car that carried gasoline, anything in the car that carried windshield wiper fluid. He could probably do it again. So you say, boy, how do you... Fortunately, I'm in a situation here where I really, despite the fact that Lizzo has kind of messed up the buses around here, I can still manage. Here's what I did yesterday. I took the bus. Okay, I walked about 10 minutes out to the bus. Then I got off at the stop closest to the Walmart that I like to shop at. And then I walked 10 minutes to that Walmart. I spent about a half an hour shopping. I sat on a bus bench outside and kind of meditated for about 10 minutes. And then I could see the bus coming. So I thought, okay, the bus just came that way. I could see it in the distance. So it's going to turn around in about a half hour. So I walked out there maybe about 15 minutes before the bus showed up on its return trip. So, okay, that means I spend, 10 minutes to the bus stop. Then I get off at the stop, 10 minutes to the Walmart. Shop at the Walmart, 30 to 40 minutes, okay? Maybe give my feet a break. Yeah, I have to give my feet a break because I've got some foot problems. So yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. And then maybe sit at a bus bench somewhere or just sit there and wait and time it. And then after I'm done shopping, walk on out to the bus stop. That's about 10-minute walk from Walmart. And wait for the bus on the return trip. and then it drops me off pretty close to home, and I only have to walk maybe 10 minutes. So it's a total of, let's see, 10, about 40 minutes worth of walking, which is not bad with, with some breaks in between. And that before I had maybe 30 minutes of walking or less. So I'm getting good exercise. So now what I've noticed is all of a sudden, one day I didn't realize I could do this, okay? That just all you have to do is just spend a lot of time at Walmart. And I walked all the way home from the Walmart, because I figured that's what I would have to do. And it didn't occur to me, just wait, shop a long time and just wait for the bus that leaves the next hour. So you don't have to, so you can give your feet a break. Well, when I walked, it's like a 40-minute walk from the Walmart to where I live. When I walked home, my feet were killing me. I mean, really killing me. And I thought, well, I did this walk like a year ago when it didn't kill me. And that time I walked all the 40 minutes up and all the 40 minutes back. But my feet were killing me. I thought, you know what? It looks like I need to get new Atrex insoles. Back in 2009, I put my feet on a scanner, and they diagnosed me with, I believe, metatarsalalgia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So that means, and they put me on the Atrex L405 insoles, okay, which has a metatarsal pad on it, which stimulates your arch to help people with metatarsalalgia. It just means that the bottom of your feet can get really sore easily if you don't have the proper orthotics and the proper shoes. I only use New Balance shoes, but I've been using Atrex insoles since about 2009. When I was working at Walmart, my feet were killing me by the end of the day. And I went to an Atrex store that had a scanner, and they fitted me with, I think it was Asics or Brooks shoes and the Atrex insoles. And the Brooks shoes worked for about 4 months. And then after that, I needed something else. And one of my customers recommended New Balance. He said his podiatrist or his foot doctor swore on it. So I got New Balance, and I've been in love with New Balance since. So, okay. And then when I lived in Florida, all the one drugstore that I went to that sold Atrex quit selling them. And the closest one was like a 2-hour drive from where I lived. And then Jesus gave me the order not to order anything online. Fortunately, one of my supporters ordered me some Atrex insoles about 2017. And I've been using those pretty much since. And they seem to be working, even though they recommend you replace them every year. But I noticed that they weren't working anymore. And so I decided to take a bus trip out to, I went to the Atrex website, and I took a bus trip out to an Atrex store that was listed on the website as carrying Atrex insoles. Okay, they said they no longer carried them, and they recommended I go to this orthotics place. I went to this orthotics place, and they said they didn't have them either, but they did carry Superfeet insoles, but they said the only way you can get these is you have to get a prescription. So I thought, wow, what am I going to do? I need, they've changed the bus systems where I'm forced to do more walking. My feet are killing me now with these longer walks. Yeah, it looks like I've got a combination of several foot conditions. I have bunions on both feet, though on my right foot it's a little worse. And so that causes me to overpronate when I walk. I think I also have plantar fasciitis, okay? You say, how can you walk with all these conditions? Well, I only buy New Balance shoes, and I've been using Atrex orthotic inserts, and they've been working great for me. So I believe I've got plantar fasciitis, metatarsalalgia, yeah, and bunions, and I overpronate because of the bunions, because I've got like a long middle toe, so I overpronate when I walk because of the bunions. So I need good support shoes too. Well, just my luck. A year ago, I went on bus adventures, right? And there's a store in my town that specializes in running shoes. And I decided when I was there, might as well just check out their running shoes and see if they carried New Balance. I only use New Balance because nothing else works for me. And I tried on one of their foam New Balance, and I thought, this feels good on me. I think, and they had it in my size. I have to get wide because of my bunions. So they had this foam New Balance shoe that cost $140 plus about $10 tax. I said, I'll get this because I do a lot of walking and this feels really good. So I got it. She said this is a stabilizer shoe. Now I didn't realize back then how important that is because I am an overpronator. Well, you know, I bought them, but I didn't really use them. I just kind of like had them for backup for rainy days because some days I'd go for a walk and my feet would get soaked because I was in the mood for a walk and I'd soak my current pair of shoes, so I needed at least 24 hours to dry them out, and I'd wear the backup pair. Little did I dream. What I did, though, is one day I got in a mood. The day that I went out to what I thought was a store that would carry the A-Trax was the day I decided to wear the expensive New Balance. They're really nice ones, the ones with the stabilizer. And I noticed, wow, and I forgot to mention, when I went on my bus adventures, this was January 2023, I also lucked out. There was another store in town that was also advertised as an A-Trax insert carrier, and I bought they were phasing their A-Trax out, and they said, we're no longer going to carry these, but we do have this in size 9, the one that you're currently using. So I was able to get that. Okay, but I basically kept that on my reserve shoe because A-Trax was so hard for me to find. Eventually, I concluded you're going to have to go out and get some A-Trax, but I said I am not going to order online. I said I don't care if it kills me. I am not going to order online. I'm going to have to consider. Finally, I decided to tell my men, hey, right now, there is no store that is bus accessible or even car accessible in my town that carries A-Trax insoles. None. Nowhere. So I said, okay, I can tell I'm being manipulated into trying to order this online. And everywhere I went, I said, you don't carry A-Trax? They said, well, maybe you ought to try Amazon. Just out of curiosity, I went to Amazon just to check and see if any of them carried the A-Trax insoles. Guess what? You can't even get my size at Amazon. There's only one place where I can get my A-Trax insoles here. I have to go to the A-Trax website and I would have to order online. I said, no way am I going to risk ordering anything online. Because first of all, Jesus gave me a standing order back around 2021 that I am not to order anything online. He wants me to purchase everything in store. And every time I order something online, I get in big trouble. It means that I am basically what it means is that anything that I get online or that I do online where it involves a purchase is going to be cursed, okay? It means that either Baphomet, Shakpona, or Satan are manipulating me. Yeah. And then my Gail Schuler gets really weak, and then I'm at risk of losing my husband. So I said, I said, okay, Gail, I've learned one thing. When it appears like God closes a door, somewhere he opens a window. So I thought, okay, this is not the end of the world. Maybe they make a shoe out there that you can buy in a store somewhere that has the insert in there. I thought, but let me tell you what gave me a clue to what ended up being a solution. This just means when it seems impossible to obey what Jesus told us to do, there's usually a way if you don't give up and if you're creative. So what happened was, I went out to the store wearing the good New Balance shoes and the brand new A-Trax insoles, which I'd hardly used, and I noticed how good my feet were doing in that expensive stabilizer shoe that I bought. they were doing really good. And I thought, you know what? This is the kind of shoe I need to be on. It's it's a New Balance 860. It's a stabilizer shoe. It's designed for people like me who overpronate. And I was feeling so good on that. And wearing the brand new Aetrex insole. So I told myself, you obviously definitely need to get a new insert. They're not designed to last 5 years anyways, these orthotic inserts. So I said, there's got to be a way. Aetrex can't be the only company that makes inserts that work for people with my problem, which is metatarsalgia, plantar fasciitis, bunions, overpronation. Okay, so I thought. So what I did, I went to the store. They said, we used to have a guy here that sold Aetrex, and he had a scanner and everything, but he's no longer here, so we no longer sell it. I said, do you know any place in town where I could get them? And they told me to try this orthotics store. So I ended up taking the bus, and it happened to get off. There was a lady at the bus stop, and I was talking to her. I said, can you tell me, you have a phone? I said, I don't have a phone, because it's not safe for me. Can you tell me where this orthotics store is located? She goes, oh, it's right along the route we're taking home. So I took the bus, and I got off the bus and went to the orthotics store, and they told me, we only carry Superfeet, but you need a doctor's prescription. So I thought, Superfeet, that must be a good one. I said, do you know where I can buy Superfeet in a store? She says, I don't know. Well, so I didn't buy anything that day in terms of... And then what I did is I walked over to where I knew another bus was, and I took it out and I went to the Asian store, and I said, I'm going to get something useful out of this trip. And I got me some hard to find Asian items. The bus on the way home was standing room only. That's why I'm not too crazy about riding the bus anymore. But anyways, yeah, it appears that Lizzo Jesuits are really trying to mess up my bus ride. But anyways, I did get some beautiful Asian food with nice dried shiitake mushrooms. So yeah, okay. About a couple days later, so I went home and I went on Google and just kind of researched different ways, and I thought, okay, here's the insole you've had that's worked, the Aetrex L405. What is this for? This will help you what's wrong, because they gave it to me after putting my foot on a scanner. I said, this will help you figure out what's wrong with your feet, so you can figure out what you can buy that's equivalent to it. Maybe this super feet one will be just as good. So I did research, and I noticed the L405 with the metatarsal pad is designed for people with metatarsalgia. So I thought I must have that condition. And I thought, it looks like you also got and I did a little research. I said, it looks like you also have plantar fasciitis. So your shoes and insoles, and the reason you did so good on that New Balance stabilizer shoe is because you also, I remember this very clearly. When I put my foot on that foot scanner, they said you are an overpronator. So I thought, aha, you need to get a stabilizer shoe. So that's why your feet felt so good when you wore that New Balance, that expensive one. It's a foam New Balance. So I thought, okay, you need to keep wearing it, because my feet were killing me, man, after that Walmart walk. And I said, I'm going to have to do something about this. I thought I could make it mind over matter, but when your feet are killing you, your feet are killing you, So I thought, you can't ignore this. You apparently need some new orthotics in there, because the 5-year-old orthotics, they're just not working anymore. And, it can happen that when you're using something that works, you forget how good it is, I thought, okay, there's got to be somebody out here. So I said, does anybody sell the equivalent to Aetrex orthotics? I couldn't find anything on it. So I thought, okay. So I said, let's try a different angle here. Let's do a search on orthotics that are designed for people with metatarsalgia, plantar fasciitis, and I decided, and I said, let's check out Superfeet, because I noticed a lot of foot doctors in my town use that. So I thought it must be pretty good. Aetrex is also Atrex is recommended by the American Podiatric Association, but so are Superfeet. After doing considerable research, I determined that there were several stores in my town that carried Superfeet. Okay, one of them was the store where I bought the really good shoes. They also have a foot scanner. So I found out also that there was a Superfeet with a metatarsal pad in it, like the one I've been using for years. The only place that had it was a New Balance store. Yeah. I thought, aha, this might work. It's probably the closest, and I kind of got my little insert out and studied it. It's probably the closest to what I have. And so I said, why don't we just give up on Atrex? Besides, I heard brain to brain that Lizzo took over the Atrex company. And that she might have switched out all the podiatrists in my town with their clones. She did that to my dentist. So I thought, this isn't the end of the world. I've never really had to go to a podiatrist. I went to a place with a foot scanner, and as long as I wear the proper orthotics and wear New Balance shoes, I'm good. So I thought, you know what? All I need to do, your problem is that your orthotics are 5 years old and they're not working anymore. You need one that's working. Because when you wore the newer ones the other day, your feet felt a lot better. So, yes, so your bunion, my bunion's about, how do I say? It's not severe, but it's bad enough where I do need to wear stabilizer shoes, okay? So, and the orthotics help too, especially since I do a lot of walking because I am a bus rider, okay? And then they change the routes where I'm forced to do more walking. So I went to the New Balance store and I tried their orthotics. I thought, this feels good. Let me tell you, they're working. So I said, goodbye, Atrex. I don't need you anymore. See, they're working. They feel just as good as the, so yeah. So I've been wearing them with the foam New Balance. I am doing more walking. But the point is, if you don't give up, you don't have to disobey Jesus. There's a way, okay? Like, let me give you an example. In Florida, I'll tell you what Satan tried to do to mess me up, okay, in Florida. Yeah, my feet still feel kind of weird. So here's what I have to do for my feet. The mites make the bottom of my feet feel kind of tingly and burny sometimes. And I find in that case, it's kind of like mind over matter. It's kind of like a weird peripheral neuropathy, though I'm not a diabetic. But I have found that if I wear diabetic socks in combination with an orthotic insert that has a metatarsal pad and cushioning, which is what I've got right now, in combo with New Balance shoes designed for people with overpronation problems, and that gives you a good cushion so that when you walk, the bottom of you, that helps people with plantar fasciitis, metatarsalgia. I'm good. Yeah. I can handle about a 40-minute walk a day. Though I might need to take some breaks, but yeah, I'm good. Yeah. In Florida, one time, I was having trouble getting laundry quarters, okay? Because my bank was not local. It was in a different town, and there weren't any branches in my town. And I used to be able to get them at, like, Publix. I could go to Publix or Walmart and buy a roll of quarters, and the stores quit selling quarters. And so I thought, I'm going to have to open a local bank account, and I did it online. Jesus contacted, this was when he was still communicating with us, and said, Gail, Satan just manipulated you to do that. He said, I want you to cancel your new bank account. He said, Satan was boasting to me, I can get her to disobey you, Jesus, because he had told me not to do anything online, right? So I asked Zach Knight, I says, where do I get laundry quarters? I need quarters to do laundry. Zach said, how about a laundromat? I thought, oh, a laundromat. See, that's what I'm talking about. You think there are no options, and if you think about it, there are ways. So I ended up driving. At that time, I had a car. I ended up driving to a laundromat, and I just cut quarters at the laundromat, and I faked like I was using their laundry machines, and I wasn't. I would come in with a laundry basket and get quarters. Yeah, I'm just saying that where there's a will, there's a way, right? Yeah. Now here in this town, there was something else I was going to say, and I can't even remember now. But I owe you all a video, so I'm making this one a little extra long to compensate. The point is, okay, when Jesus tells you to do something, don't just think, oh no, I'm stuck. I have to disobey the Gail commandments. Yeah, you better not, or you might end up like me, right? Losing your husband or something. Yeah. There's usually a way, okay? Even though you don't think so. So just don't give up. Just calm down, meditate. Meditation usually helps me to calm down so that I think clearly. And then I usually end up seeing options that I didn't realize I had, right? Like that's part of the reason I was able to figure out that I could go to the New Balance store, which is bus accessible, and buy something equivalent to the Atrax insoles that I had before. Yeah. Usually when I make a panic decision, and if it's online, I'm in big trouble. So yeah, they're working for me. And I found I can still take the bus. Just have to do more walking. And my feet started hurting a little because of that, because I needed new insoles, right? So there was something else I was going to say, that I was going to give you an illustration how it you just can't give up, you know. Anyways, I am slowly but surely working on my writing. It's a challenge doing all the Gail commandments and finding the time to do everything. I'm feeling so much healthier than in January. I don't know why it is, but when I eat my own food, I feel so much healthier. I'm starting to suspect that maybe half the restaurants I went to, I was eating mite food. And I just don't. Besides, I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy eating my own food. I cook healthy, you know? Yeah, so I like it. Yeah, I've got a homemade recipe that uses small red beans, brown rice, and then I put in some kombu, some kelp seaweed in there, and then I cook it in the pressure cooker, and then it's delicious. And I use the water that I soaked the red beans into there, and it gives it a really nice, like almost gourmet flavor. Yes, the recipe's at my cooking channel. And then I top it with cold, fresh flax oil with particulate. I don't know what it is about that. And I put in some sea salt. It is so good. Yeah. Delicious. That's an example of how I eat. The only food that I'm eating that may not be too good for me is I love my Asian furikake. This is like the seaweed sprinkle that I put on my white rice. But hey, you gotta enjoy life, right? Yeah, that's my treat. Yeah, and for breakfast, I have strawberries, blueberries, a piece of dark chocolate, yum yum, and orange wedges with oatmeal, probiotic yogurt, and I throw in some walnuts, mix it all together. That's my breakfast usually. And yeah, I have chamomile tea for my meditation times. And then I usually have something homemade for dinner. If I'm too busy to cook, I open up a can of sockeye salmon or sardines and eat it with my rice. And then I love the Walmart frozen vegetables. If I'm in a hurry. Yeah. I make a lot of authentic Japanese and Chinese food and Italian. So it's my own home cooking. I feel so much healthier eating my own food. So yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyways, I've made up for it that I haven't given you guys a video for a while. So yeah, I'm working on my writing. It's very, very demanding. you know, my writing's got to be pretty high quality. The screenwriters working on the Gail series are Orson Scott Card and Melinda Snodgrass. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I think Orson talked to me today. He says, oh, wow. He said, all of us screenwriters were giving each other high fives. They said, he said, the one you just wrote on Satan at the Supreme Court is so good. He said, we're going to be able to write a great screenplay for this. So you all need to go to 00 on cable and see it. Believe me, you'll really understand Satan. I've noticed something interesting. He's creating a lot of news stories like distractions. He doesn't want people to see this. You will really understand him when you see this. So anyways, I owed you all a video. Now I need to do my walk with my New Balance insoles and my shoes. Yeah. Yeah. Expensive shoes, but hey, I have to do a lot of walking because they changed the bus routes. Besides, it's good to walk. It's good for your health. Yeah, burns calories. I lost about 5 pounds since I started walking more. My feet were killing me, but it looks like I've kind of solved that problem. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, just keep doing the Gail commandments. And when you think you can't do it because you got a blockade, you can probably find a way to work around the blockade.
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a warrior rising, breaking free from chains. She's Gail Schuler, her heart's pure and strong. With the power of love, she'll right the world's wrongs. Yeah, fighting against the devil in order. She's the first, the passionate crusader. Stand by the side of conquer it all. Through space battles